All right, we are live. Okay. All right, this is now silent. We are reading this book. Welcome, the YouTube family. We are reading this book, Healing is the New High. And we are at chapter 6 now. We have already completed the previous chapters. So, chapter 6, Who Are You? Your true self may be obscured by layers of experience and expectations, but you can always return to being truly you. Let's see how. People talk a lot about being yourself. Just be yourself, they say. Don't try to be someone else, just be you. Or in some more spiritual communities, you might hear something like reconnect with your true nature. I won't lie, I've definitely said something like this at some point, and I'll definitely say it again later in this chapter. But if you don't really know who you are, then those statements are meaningless. What does it mean to be yourself? What is your true nature and how do you find out? I prefer to ask the question like this: who would you be? How would you feel? And what would you do if you'd never been hurt? If nobody else existed or had ever shared their opinion about you? I know that's not an exactly that's not an easy question either, but at least it's more specific. It gives us something to work with. The implication is that who you really are is you without the pain and fear. You without the wounds, without the trauma. I don't mean that we need to wipe clean or our emotional state and behave as if everything's blissfully perfect. I firmly believe that our challenges are a part of our strength. The difficult things we go through really do shape who we are, what we feel, and what we do, and there's no getting around that. Even when we fully accept our trauma and feel at peace with everything in our lives up to this moment, we've still adapted. We've gathered information and integrated it. Even our newly rewritten beliefs are inspired by our old limiting beliefs, and those came from our pain. We'll all always be connected to the things that have hurt us, but that doesn't have to be bad thing. The connection between us and our trauma can become our strength. It can give us empathy, allow us to support others, teach us what we are capable of, and remind us to appreciate the crystalline beauty in mundane moments. Because we know how bad things can be, we know that this moment is good because we've lived through terrible ones. Instead, considering who you would be if you've never been hurt is about getting to know your innate nature. Your vibration is bashed about by your experiences, relationships, interactions, and impressions, but there's a steady hum of complete you-ness somewhere in there. And no matter what's going on or what stage of hurt or healing you are at, that steady hum is always there. Think of it as your natural equilibrium. The equilibrium is something that can always be returned to if we do the work to rebalance what's become out of balance. Part of that work is using what you've already done and taking control of your right to respond to anything in the way that you want to, rather than the way your trauma wants to react. Who would you be? How would you feel? And what would you do if you'd never been hurt, if nobody else existed or had ever shared their opinion about you? Interesting. Let's go ahead. Take control of your right to choose your response. We know that trauma lies. Then when emotional pain and fear have settled into us, we develop defense mechanisms to keep us safe. Our reactions to triggers are a huge part of that, and perhaps the part that's most visible from the outside. So, as we teach ourselves to heal ourselves, we have to begin making choices. Instead of reacting instantly when we feel triggered by something or by someone, we pause. We thank the person or thing that triggered us because they've highlighted a part of us we need to heal. and then choose to respond in the way we really want to respond. Your rewritten beliefs are useful here when you feel overwhelmed and sense that you are about to react to something based on your old belief pattern or limiting understanding of yourself. Shift into the new beliefs. Remind yourself of how you've changed your perspective before. Because if you've done it already, you're definitely capable of doing it again, even in the middle of a stressful moment. In his book, The Four Agreements, thought leader and author Don Miguel Ruiz offers a code of conduct based on the spiritual wisdom of ancient Mexican Toltec people. His second agreement states that we shouldn't take anything personally. Another thing that's easier said than done, I know. However, those who attempt to belittle us reveal more about their own character and perception of the world than ours. Those who want to hurt the world outside of them, must contain a hurt in their inner world. You can only give what you have, literally and energetically. Imagine you're scrolling on social media and you come across a picture or a caption that triggers you emotionally. You react to someone else's behavior or words. Your vibration becomes lower as you experience feelings such as anger, envy, insecurity, or disappointment. A painful emotion resurfaces, and to defend yourself from this hurt, you use aggressive language and spew out hatred in the comment section. In other words, you appear to troll the social media user who made the post. Your reaction has revealed an unhealed emotional wound. It's like when someone sees a photo of you and your partner and tells you that you are too ugly for your partner. Although the picture of the you two has triggered that person, they have also triggered you with their comment because they've created doubt in you and made you feel as if you're not good enough. Those beliefs are based on fear. Those who feel secure and recognize their own worth would remain unchallenged by this particular opinion. In the short term, you can you can set boundaries for yourself to manage your reaction. For example, you can make an agreement with yourself that whenever you feel triggered, you'll give yourself a certain amount of time to pause. Let it sink in and consider how you truly want to respond rather than reacting in the heat of the moment. At the very least, this will save you from potential embarrassment of becoming an internet troll. And in face to face situation, it could prevent real conflict in relationships that are important to you. Those who attempt to belittle us reveal more about their own character and perception of the world than ours. Those who want to hurt the world outside of them must contain hurt in their inner world. You can only give what you have, literally and energetically. Interesting. Reprogramming the mind. The long term solution is to do the work you are doing as you travel through these pages. Recondition the mind and learn your new empowering beliefs. More than learn them, integrate them into your subconscious. Make them a part of your energetic makeup. Repeat your new beliefs over and over and over again until you strengthen the neural pathways connected to them enough that it becomes easy and natural for you to genuinely believe them. So each time you feel emotionally triggered, use it as an opportunity to grow. Or more specifically, because I don't know about you, but I much prefer specifics over vague advice, use it as an opportunity to consciously strengthen the neural pathways to your new empowering and healing beliefs. How do you do this? By pausing. Instead of reacting immediately, ask yourself which of your limiting belief is most closely connected to this trigger and the strong emotional reaction you're experiencing. What's driving you to feel this way? Why do you feel a burning need to lash out or prove the triggering wrong person wrong? Then remind yourself of the new belief that most directly addresses this trigger. Remember earlier when I talked about the breakup that sent me into downward spiral? I mentioned that one of my reaction was a universal anger towards women. It was irrational. One woman had hurt me and my damaged ego and emotional state state translated that into my pain being caused by all women. Now I totally realize how wrong that was and how unfair to an entire sex. But that's what I felt. It was the defensive reaction I jumped into, and it felt powerful. It wasn't who truly I am, and it was definitely not who I want to be. But for a time, it made me react to women in a highly triggered and irrational way. When I met a woman who presented herself very confidently or who spoke about relationships in an authoritative way, I'd react with disdain. Usually not directly to her, but in my own head or to other people. She's manipulative, I think. She's just using her femininity to take advantage of men. She doesn't care about equal relationships. She's just saying that to get what she wants. If I distill it down, I suppose my limiting belief there was that all women were out to get me or out to get men. And later, as I began to accept my history in a more conscious way and did the work of acknowledging my limiting beliefs, I rewrote it. The new belief became this: I know that I can have caring, really loving relationships with genuine, thoughtful, intelligent, and kind women. I applied my new belief to friendships as well as my relationship with my wife. And when I came into conflict with a woman and I felt that old belief rising up, I paused and replaced it. I reminded myself that I could have those caring and loving relationships. That women are not out to get me, that women are human beings just like me, with their own feelings and thoughts and fears and desires. It took time. I repeated the process, and each time I did, I strengthened the neural pathway that led me to the new belief until I don't have to remind myself of it anymore. It simply became what I believe. So now, when I meet a woman who would once have triggered a strong reaction in me, and when I have a disagreement with my wife or a female friend, I don't think, oh, she's a woman, so she's manipulative and out to get me. She's dishonest, and I can't trust a word she says. I just deal with the situation as a human being interacting with another human being, which of course is what I should have done all along. But at the time of of that particular relationship breakup, I didn't have the self awareness to catch my fear based reaction before it became a part of my belief system. This is just one of many examples that I show how my own healing journey helped me to reconnect with who I really am, instead of being who my trauma was unconsciously driving me to be. And that's what this journey will do for you too. The more you integrate your rewritten beliefs into your way of being, the stronger those pathways in your brain will become, and the more you will be like you. You'll stop believing the lies that your pain tells you, because you'll be more certain of yourself, and you'll be developing skills that allow you to question things and be curious and recognize that there's always another way of seeing something. The you who's always there. In yoga philosophy, the true self is always there. It's a steady center that we all have in us. In ancient texts, Indian text called the Upanishads, it's called the Atman. And it's basically self with a capital S. The true self is that part of each of us that's eternally connected with everything else: the universe, the divine, the universal consciousness, or however you like to describe everythingness. We all come from the same stuff and go back to the same stuff. I had a teacher, Advaita Vedanta, a non dualistic school of Hindu philosophy that focuses on self realization, who described this true self to me using a story. I don't know where it originated. I expect it's something that's been shared in lots of different ways by many different people. So that is my own version of it, written for you. Two waves rush towards the shore. The first wave is anxious. He is fretting and thinking at 100 miles an hour about what's about to happen. Thoughts like, when I reach the shore, that's it, I'll break. My life will be over. I want to slow down and take it in, but I can't. My impulse is to move forward. I can't stop myself. That another wave is bigger than me. I wish I were bigger. And it's faster than me too. I am not good enough. I'm scared. I don't want this. I want this all to stop. I want to be a wave of longer. There's so much more experience. This stressed out and panicky wave doesn't enjoy the experience of traveling towards the shore. He can't take in the beauty of it because he's worrying about the end and about all the things that might go wrong and about wanting to control or change the situation. The second wave, however, is calm. He rushes just as quickly towards the shore because that's what waves do. But he isn't scared. He thinks thoughts like, oh, this is beautiful life. I am glad to be a wave for these few moments. I won't break or die when I hit the shore because I'll simply go back to the ocean. I came from the ocean and I'll return to it. It is what I am, and I am what it is. This is how I am meant to be. The second wave is in touch with the steady, peaceful, even blissful, if you'll forgive me for using such a word, true self at his core. In contrast, the first wave is not. He is distracted by impressions he's picked up since becoming a wave and panicking about losing his wave status. And so he can't notice and enjoy how great it is to be a wave for a little while. You are the wave. The universe is the ocean. If you are calm and connected with who you really are, you can be peaceful and connected with the energy of the universe. Your vibration is tuned in with that universal energy. You're not disturbed or hurt by the impressions and experiences you pick up on your way through life because at your core, you know that you are steady, happy, and calm. That true self is always there. It's the equilibrium you can always return to. Beautiful. The true self is a part of each one of us that's eternally connected with everything else. The universe, the divine, the universal consciousness, or however you like to describe everythingness. We all come from the same stuff and go back to the same stuff. Practice 8. Acknowledge what you know to be true about you in this moment. Reconnecting with your true nature or the real you that exists always at your core isn't something you can do in an instant. And that sense of being connected and aware of who you really are comes and goes unless you're a monk who can spend 12 plus hours a day meditating in isolation and silence, a practice that for most of us is neither practical nor appealing. I definitely believe you can reach a place of growth where you always feel the presence of your true self beneath the surface. You know it's there, constant and steady, and you know how to get back to it. But the impressions and experiences and pressures of everyday life in a busy modern world takes us away from that true nature again and again. So part of our job as individuals committed to our own healing and growth is to return to it again and again. This is the first two simple meditation practices you will work through in this chapter using awareness and affirmation to ground yourself. They both utilize skills and insight you've gained so far in this book. So don't worry. You're not going in cold. And they are both work quickly to bring you first into the present moment and then into the truth at the heart of you. You do need to practice the first one before you move on to the second one, though, so please resist the temptation to jump ahead. We are playing the slow game here, remember? There aren't any shortcuts to real inner freedom. And like the other meditation practices I have shared so far, know that you can repeat this one whenever it feels like it could be helpful. It's a good practice to help you stay aware of your progress. The first time you try, it might be difficult to answer the question within it, but the further you move along on your healing path, the easier it will be to recognize what's true about you. The present truth meditation. You can use this practice at any time. It's particularly useful for overcoming anxiety or panic in different moments because it brings you right back to the moment and allows you to question without judging the thoughts that are present in your mind. Number one, first, find your comfortable seated position in a place where you won't be disturbed for 10 minutes. You know the drill. Two, place both hands on your chest. Feel your chest rise and fall as you breathe in an easy, natural rhythm. You can close your eyes if you feel comfortable doing so, or keep them open and the gaze soft. If it feels best to practice with eyes closed, read these instructions a couple of times over first. 3. Take your awareness to the ground beneath you and to the parts of your body that are connected to the floor or chair or cushion or whatever you are sitting on. Allow yourself to ground through those connections. Your sit bones are steady on the floor or on the chair. Your spine rises tall, drawing energy up from the earth. Become aware that you are here in this place. In this moment, notice any sound that you can hear outside the room. You don't need to do anything, just notice. Allow the sounds to be there. And then notice any sounds that you can hear inside the room. Again, nothing to do, simply notice. Notice any sounds that you can hear in your own body, perhaps the soft sound of your breath or even subtler sounds. Use this process of noticing sound to become more aware of where you are here in this moment. Number five, and then consider this question: what is true about you in this moment? Answer it silently in your mind and without feeling any pressure to come up with the right answer. Answer it in any way that feels right to you. You might start with what you can feel. It's true that you can feel the connection between your body and whatever it is you're sitting on. It's true that you're breathing, it's true that you're healing, and then go further. Make it more personal. It doesn't matter if not all of the things you know would be true about yourself are positive. There's no need to judge any thought that arises as either positive or negative. Allow each thought just to be. But if a negative belief does come up, allow yourself to question. Why is it true? What if it isn't true? What do you know to be true about you? 6. When you feel you've answered the question, return your awareness to the breath. Notice your chest rise and fall beneath your hands. Notice how the spine extends very slightly with each inhale and then relaxes just a little with each exhale. Now speak the following affirmation either out loud if you feel comfortable doing so or silently in your mind. Remain present and focused on each word and evoke the full power of your heart, mind, and body to make the affirmation purposeful. It's true that I'll move past this moment and I'll enjoy the freedom of my existence in this life. Send warm, kind energy from the palms of your hands into your heart. There's a sense of calm and love in this moment. That's it. Well done. Let it go. Wonderful.